Audience, any questions?
Any questions?
You sure? Well, I think that is well, first of all, an observation. At one point, your first knowledge issue clearly stated, relevant, strong, nothing to say about that. But at one point, you mentioned another knowledge issue, and you swirling things around. If you could bring it up, that would be interesting, because this, I think we're sort of confusing things here. This was actually the research question that thinkers such as philosophers such as GinB Vitt Vitt had in mind when he wrote his treatise.
Yes.
But is it a knowledge issue? In other words, is that a problem with knowledge nowadays, or is that not just a question anybody can answer?
No, because many people think if it was a question that we can answer, why are still countries adopting this way of torture? If it was that simple to answer that, yes, torture leads not knowing the truth, why should people still use it? There is in the world people who adopt this.
Yes, but we can't turn it, my point is we can't turn it into a ToK knowledge.
Yes. How, if we force human...
If you force me to.
No.
If you torture me to.
If we force...
If you torture me, yes, but that really does not qualify as a knowledge issue. Okay, so... I would be careful with that. This one I will leave, but for last, okay. In the parable regarding the life of Jesus, when the lady is condemned to death, is Jesus, in your opinion, expressing a judgment against the death penalty? What is he saying? What is that parable saying to us?
He fundamentally says that if he's trying to test the people who came to him, saying that if they have no sin, they could throw the first stone. But he proved that people in those days had sin, and he proved that we can't control another human's life just because we think she has committed a crime. We can accuse her, but not kill her or torture her.
Okay, maybe I'll approach this from a different point of view. My point was just, okay, he or she, the person who has not sinned may throw the stone. But what if there had been a person there that had not sinned, and that person picked a big rock up and chucked it at the woman?
He would have sinned.
What would have Jesus said?
He would have sinned the first time.
Good point. Okay, I've got another one, kind of the same question, but I'm turning it around in a way. It's what seems to, so when we're talking about culture, we sort of made cases that might be different from our perception in terms of culture. Iran, Brazil, where's the question here? Iran, Brazil, and I don't know, we have an historical example and Guantanamo Bay as our examples. What is, in your opinion, the major difference between a place like Brazil, in which the church's opinion is not represented by the law that is recognized in that state, and a place like Iran, in which the Quran mirrors itself in the law of the state, in the law of the land. In other words, where there is a religious law.
History has played during time an enormous effect in differentiating the state's evolution. Countries which are poor in themselves, they can't do anything about it. While a country which has evolved through time and which history is more present in a sense, have different views. It depends on the place itself and how it's
culture.
Yeah, but what's happening in those? Okay, it does depend on the culture, on the law, on the law in the country. But what's the difference between a Brazilian citizen who is not outraged at the fact that the church is doing something different than the state. The church is condemning someone that the state would not. What's the difference between that citizen who thinks that that is okay and an Iranian citizen, and here we could throw something else into, but an Iranian citizen who would be outraged in the case that Sakine weren't stoned to death?
The culture.
The difference is the culture.
The laws that are in
It's
the
easy to say the culture. What exactly in the culture?
The culture, the religion, their
What is the
habits.
Brazilian citizen doing more than the Iranian citizen?
The Iranian citizen has other ideals of life, of also their religion is completely different from the Brazilian one.
Maybe, for example, the Brazilian looks also at reason, while if you look only at religion, emotion plays a bigger role, for example. So,
I'll just try. Let's say I'm a Brazilian Catholic. I agree 100% with the church excommunication of that young little girl. Yet I'm not going to go and demonstrate under the presidential palace. I will stay home because I do not find those laws to be a scam. Yet I agree with the church because I am Catholic, and by the way, I think Brazil is one of the hearts of Catholicism in the modern day and age. So,
I don't agree with the church.
but what if you did? What's making you different? Why are you not going out and demonstrating and trying to convince the Brazilian president that he has to pass a law
it's
that?
your personal opinion.
Because he wouldn't listen to you in the first place.
Of course he wouldn't. For a specific reason.
Because maybe people don't have as much of a word in a state like Brazil, in which there is public.
Okay, I'm being mean here. But it is the same reason by which you are not allowed to show a religious symbol in a school, in a public school in the United States. So there's a perception of, in a modern Western state, we separate a religious point of view from a lay point of view.
The state
So-
is trying to find the accommodation for all the citizens in which something like a revolt would not happen, which everyone is happy and there is a reason essentially in everything the state does. If someone does not want a religious symbol, then someone which wants a religious symbol, someone who wants a religious symbol has to accept the idea that there are other people who think it differently, and if he or she wants to exercise that religion, there's the church, there are other ways, and a symbol in school is not that.
It has something to do with.
But what if the majority of my countrymen believe that it is okay, that we should stone adulterous ladies? Is that a matter of respecting one's religion?
It's a matter of ideals, what people think, and where they were burned and which culture. For me, it's not
Yes,
correct.
exactly. My point is that in a modern democracy based on a constitution, based on a rule of law, state and religion are separate. There's no continuity. So religious laws are not state laws and can't be state laws. Whereas in Iran, you're looking at a religious law that is also a law of the state. So the two.
Well, religion here, for example, in Italy, one of the Ten Commandments is that you can't kill. The state goes with that thing.
Another one of the Ten Commandments also says, "Thou shalt not have no God but me." When in reality, we know very well that any person is entitled to have freedom of religion. Okay, another question. This one maybe I won't be couldn't tell me is that bad. Are you sure that there is no use of reason as a way of knowing in the Brazilian church's position on that case of abortion? In other words, you're telling me that the church's position in that case is mainly based on an emotional reaction, or on emotion as a way
The
of
reason
knowing.
behind
I'm
it,
saying, are you sure?
The girl could have done, the reason behind the church, the girl could have done a cesarean section and saved the 2 lives because she could have handled a cesarean section. Therefore, it was possible to save those 2 lives. This is the reason behind the church.
But
The only
we don't know if everything would have gone in the right way. Also, she has not done the year.
She has decided not to
risk her life.
Yeah, because then your ribs cannot support the weight of a child. And
at that age being raped.
So it's not a good, so the church's position is not only based on emotion.
No, it's also based on reason.
Oh, okay.
The reason is behind the cesarean section. But the girl's reason and emotions say, I have been raped. I am risking maybe my life. I have the chance to save my life and not give birth because I want my 2 children. Why should she have chosen to give birth to them?
No, well, in your, unless I misunderstood the presentation, it seemed like you were seeing a lot of emotion as a way of knowing in the church's point of view, the Brazilian church's point of view on that case. And I kind of didn't agree with your statement at the time when you made it, because actually from a point of view of emotion as a way of knowing, that case, in that case, the church's judgment, the church's decision does not seem to come out the winner. I mean, imagine the case, 9-year-old girl, raped by her father. I mean, emotionally, anybody, stepfather, anybody is going to side with a girl. And emotionally, you will tend to feel solidarity for the victim of that situation. So, in a way, the church, albeit I don't agree, and well, my opinion doesn't really matter, is actually made a very brave decision there. They were risking a lot of popularity by saying, no, you're out of the church. That's what they did.
They raised up the
read the laws of the Archbishop. They say that abortion is a sin and the transgressions are no longer welcome in the Roman Catholic Church.
Therefore, they need to be excommunicated. Yes, I see a lot of reason in there. That is a deductive statement. The premise is abortion is a sin. You sinned, and therefore you had abortion. You're outside of the church. Conclusion.
They are not also thinking about the life of a girl. They are only thinking about the life of the 2 twins without taking into consideration the life of the girl. So it also depends.
Yeah, it was clearly, I must not have been paying attention. Are you sure no one has any questions at all? 0, 0, 0. Anybody wants to consider the assessment criteria and maybe attempt an analysis? In 5 minutes. Well, let's see how we get to that 20 factor. You think they identified a knowledge issue that was clearly relevant to the real life situation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone disagree?
No.
I tend to agree. I agree. I don't know about a 5 here, but maybe 5. Maybe.
6.
3. There's no 6. Plus, I can give different grades to different students in the presentation, especially for attempting to hug one of your colleagues. I mean, Valentine's Day, but. Okay, so the presentation show an understanding of knowledge issues.
Yes.
As a whole.
Obviously.
That was very good.
And to what extent?
The presentation shows
Some adequate good.
knowledge issues. 5.
So you reckon that was a good understanding of knowledge issues?
Yes.
Excellent, not good.
Well, the fact that they turned torture, is torture a good way, Eureka? Is torture a good way of finding truth? That sort of didn't show that they had a perfect or above average understanding of knowledge.
It is above good.
Above the standard deviation.
I don't think it's above. I don't think that was above adequate.
The bubble on the sides.
This is not a
Okay, what I do think, I feel like we've sort of lost the audience halfway through my questions. Maybe that's my fault, so they were too long and tedious and annoying. But I thought there was some